Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you all in our 42nd edition of Sunday Synergy virtual webinars. So today we have an excellent topic for the fireside chat conversation on Agentic AI in business process automation in BFSI domain. Over the past few years, we have witnessed the evolution from automation to intelligent automation and then to generative AI. Now, today we stand at the threshold of the next major shift, that is Agentic AI, where AI systems are no longer just responding to the instruction, but can reason, ask questions, make decisions, collaborate, and then take actions autonomously towards achieving defined goals. For the banking, financial services, and insurance, typically what we call it as BFSI sector, this represents a tremendous opportunity and an equally important challenge, because all those things are very much related to security, data privacy, and many other things. So from transitioning or transforming customer experiences and streamlining operations to enhancing compliance and redefining the workforce roles, Agentic AI has the potential to fundamentally reshape how financial institutions operate. But several critical questions still remain. How different is Agentic AI from the technologies bank already use today? Is it going to be a new buzz, or is it going to really add value to our service or the experience that the customers are having right now? Where can it create the most immediate business value, both from the banking perspective as well as from the customer's perspective? What risk and governance framework must organizations consider? Because we are dealing with the customer data. We have to remember that, and their money. And most importantly, what will the bank of the future look like in the AI first world? To help us unpack these questions, we are delighted to have with us Mr. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜, Associate Principal at LTM, who brings deep expertise in technology-led transformation and innovation, and in conversation with Ms. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 Roy, Associate Director at PwC, an accomplished transformation leader with extensive global experience in driving large-scale digital initiatives in the financial services industry. So let me take this moment to introduce first our esteemed speaker for this session, 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 from LTM. Mr. 𝗬𝗜 has 14 years of experience in banking and financial services domain. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 is currently working with LTM. His major skills include digital transformation, technology consulting, business analysis, and business development. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 has a prior experience in IT consulting and project management, application support, etc. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 is a proactive and confident professional who believes in excellence. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 is associated with several business entities of banking and financial services, having an exposure to multicultural and multi-location teams across the location like USA, Europe, Canada, Middle East, and India. Now, it takes me great pleasure to welcome our moderator for the session, Ms. 𝗕𝗂𝗬𝗜 Roy. 𝗕𝗕𝗬𝗜 Roy is an accomplished testing, pre-sales, and delivery leader, over 20 years of global experience across consulting and technology services. Currently serving as an associate director at PwC India, she partners with leading financial institutions to drive large-scale digital transformation that are secure, resilient, and customer-centric. With 15 years in consulting in PwC and almost 7 years in services industry, 𝗕𝗕𝗜 brings extensive global experience, global delivery experience across the UK, USA, Singapore, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. She has successfully led multi-year enterprise scale transformation programs spanning core modernization, digital platforms, regulatory-driven initiative, and enterprise quality transformation. So welcome 𝗕𝗕𝗜 and 𝗕𝗕𝗜 for this fireside chat conversation. Now, before I pass it to 𝗕𝗕𝗜, I would like to just set some ground rules that we'll be first having this conversation for around 45 minutes, followed by a quick rapid fire. And then I'm sure the audience will be having a lot of questions in their mind. So just stay there, and we will be having a dedicated 10-15 minutes of Q&A where you can ask a lot of questions to our esteemed speaker. So with this, welcome you all. and I'll pass it to Mitu for taking this forward. Over to you, Mitu.
Thank you so much, Shubhada. A very good morning to all of you. A very good morning to Shumon, our dear guest today.
Yeah, thank you, Mitu. Thanks, Shubhada.
Yeah. So let's start then, Shuman. I think we should start with some context first, with the context of agentic AI in the BFSI domain. Like, how do you define agentic AI in the BFSI context, and what makes it fundamentally different from traditional automation (RPA) that we used to know, the generative solutions that banks already using today? How it is different? Let's start with that context.
Yeah, sure. So agentic AI, basically, we can say it's a process by that we can break down the tasks, and the task also can be evolve along with the time itself, and that help us to do the better banking in a single word itself. And now the thing is that if I explain it more, nowadays, if you take one example, like when you wake up in the morning, and if you see there is a message like you are expense $500 in yesterday, which is unplanned, so that kind of notification is come up, and yeah, agentic AI can support you also, like provide you the guidances like you cannot spend this kind of things. It will impact you the financial planning. This kind of use cases is coming up in a agentic AI in day-to-day life itself. So that's how you can say the impact of the agentic AI in BFAs or banking domain itself is a huge. And now coming to the second part of your questions, like how it's a difference. The point of
Understood.
differentiator, yeah, the point of differentiator in specifically traditional automations things itself with the agentic AI. Like in the traditional automations things itself, there is a workflow base or stage steps things are used to be there, where you have to have a particular stage, then you can proceed in the next stage itself. Whereas agentic AI is with kind of solutions. When you provided this kind of solution, then it's evolve within yourself. Like if a particular solution with have the capability of agentic AI, or this kind of solution you can bring in that way, like the system will not puzzle themselves. They will provide their own solution and they can proceed further. Also, you have asked me that the how it is different from the typical RPA kind of stuff itself. If you remember in RPA, when we talked through in 2018, 2019, in those era, that RPA is come up in the market itself for doing the some mimic job or some the menial jobs itself. When you set up a,
Repetitive.
yeah, when you have some set of instructions is there, it will do the some repetitive job, and it will save your cost itself. But the agentic AI is not only for you the repetitive job. It will evolve with the situations. Like if as a neutral person, how you will take the decisions as a human being. That's kind of things also coming up with the agentic AI. Definitely, there is some pros and cons there that we will definitely will come up. But the thing is that that is a main differences. It is not coming up for the repetitive menial jobs. That much I can say as of now.
Hmm. And so previously we used to have something which was like this much that programming or that RPA could do, but agentic AI brings in the intelligence. It adds intelligence on top of that, and it caters the solution as well. The solution might not be correct, but it caters to that. So
Yeah,
that
that
is
we need to
much.
handle. That you correctly pointed out that we need
Yeah.
to handle. Like how can we manage that one? But it have the more capability other than the RPA solutions what we used to see in 2018, 19 in those
It's
areas.
more powerful.
Yeah, more powerful, more
Okay.
intelligent.
So, if we talk about business benefits, so every bank has to think about business benefits, right? And business benefits need not be only commercial, it can be in different formats. So, what are the most significant business benefits banks can expect from agentic AI? Is it cost optimization? Is it faster decision making, improved customer experience, the end customer experience, enhanced compliance, the compliance that the banks needs to do with SEBI or RBI, or entirely new revenue opportunities? So, what are the most significant business benefits banks can reap from using agentic AI, Shumon?
Yeah, so benefits can be trickled down in the three fashion, like short term, mid term, and long term.
Hmm.
When you are talking about the business benefit from a bank perspective, in a short term, definitely speed, the go to market is huge, along with that, the cost optimizations and the controlling the cost, that is also its short-term benefit itself. That is a humongous. Uh, and coming towards your another part, that is a customer experience. For better customer experience, when we will do the better customer experience, you can jot it down in that way. Like when you do that particular task, which is used to 7 days, now it is coming to the 50 minutes. Then definitely it will enhance the customer experience. But that will not come in a one day. But that's why, but it is not very long term. So that's why we can position it as a mid term. So mid-term customer benefit, you can business benefit, you can say about the customer experience.
Customer experience.
And in overarching view, if you see, if you have the cost optimization, if you have the first go to market, if you have better customer experience, definitely it will be benefit your bank itself in terms of more revenue earning, also in future. So new revenue model also will come up in a longer run itself. So it's you can say itself
Like
strategically.
all automations.
If you strategically put this in this way, then it will be benefit in different value chain system itself. First in the cost optimization, first go to market, then the better customer experience, then definitely better revenue model for the banks.
So cost optimization, is it like a short term gain that you see, or it's a long term gain because we need to invest in LLMs, GPUs, etc.?
Yeah. So the thing is that cost optimizations, you need to think about the what is the scale of implementations. So like if you implement in a large scale model, in a big bang model, so definitely it will come up with the cost. We need to think in the perspective of the cost benefit analysis also for the
Okay.
respective area of the particular banking operations or the banking finance, whatever you are the particular domain you are selecting of the particular bank. And accordingly you can do this cost benefit analysis, and after that the cost
Understood.
optimizations will come to the picture itself. But definitely the thing is that it's nowadays it's a trial mode. Definitely it's not a foolproof mode, like how much cost efficient it will be. But with using that token cost and LLM is coming to the picture itself
Yeah.
nowadays. So but the thing is that the capability wise, technical capability wise, definitely it has a must and major role itself is there, major capability is there itself. Now we need to see in terms of the cost perspective that how much cost benefit can it be. So
So
that's
you were
why I
saying
was,
it's related to the scale of the implementation.
yeah,
So understood.
to the scale of the implementation in particular
The
areas.
higher the scale, the better the cost optimization will
Yeah.
be. So it's not very uh, cost optimization will not be very high for a small scale implementation. So that is also there we have to keep in mind.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's how you have to come up with. I can tell you one or two example. One is the Indian context, and one is the European context itself, where we can implement it. In one of my Indian clients, where I consulting through. So when we implement a particular customer service for the bank itself, so for the what kind of things nowadays facing by the customer end user for the retail bank. So there we implemented that particular things itself, but that is not give up that much of customer satisfaction or the revenue
Uh,
generation. So that's
uh,
why it is fail. But in a different context, when we come to the European bank, they what they have done, this is have done but this kind of implementation for the AML checking itself, anti-money laundering checking. So in the
okay.
anti-money laundering checking, there's a lot of
Use
documentation,
cases.
transactions used to be monitored. Then it comes some benefit itself because it's a,
Then the benefit is high
yeah, benefit is high definitely. So
because they
that's
have
how,
hundreds of rules to be
yeah,
automated. That's why.
yeah. So that's how
Yeah,
it depends on the context. So that's why
exactly.
I give you one failure scenario, one success scenarios.
So that was really insightful, Shuman. That
Yeah.
was really insightful. Now, if you have to recommend, let's say, three high impact use cases, like just now you gave through two of them, but if you have to recommend another three high impact use cases where agentic AI can create immediate value in banking, which should they be and why?
Yeah, definitely. So I would reiterate one of the examples definitely, that is customer service area. That is first, immediate, and not only banking. Nowadays, you can see in the every things itself in your lifestyle itself. It's come after which help you the agentic AI. Like if you support for the Uber or urban company in Indian context, that is also giving you helping also along with your daily lifestyles. Along with this customer service, and specifically now if I come into the banking, then definitely loan originations, which we call
Hmm.
loan mortgage, that is
Hmm.
another use case. And third one itself, uh, another one that is a uh, for AI ML perspective, like when you have the customer, you have coming up a faulty customer or not faulty customer, you need to check some data prelim background check. Then for the customer onboarding, you can also use this particular fitment, this particular AI capabilities itself. So in
Yeah.
short, customer service first, second is the loan origination, and third is the onboarding customer itself.
Okay. So customer service area, and I understand that's less risky from
Yeah.
technical perspective and business case perspective. Loan origination is moderate risky, I would say. I mean, there are rules which can be automated. And the third one, you said customer onboarding. That is also less risky because it also is more or less fixed.
Yeah.
The rules and everything, like this should be done for that, that should be done for this. So yeah, understood. So these are the three use cases where if you feel that agentic AI can bring in huge impact, can be automated the most.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. There is other use cases are there, but the thing is that
These
the risk
three.
probabilities are very high.
Hmm.
Like if you just 1 minute of your time, so if
Hmm.
you give a customer based on the agentic AI capability, that if you are selecting your customer as a credit profiling, that how much loan can be borrowed towards a particular customer, then it will
Hmm.
be a risky.
High
Because
risk.
if your customer here the 50,000 USD, if
Hmm.
you're getting the 5 lakh USD, then it's a troublesome for the bank itself.
Bank will go for it first.
So, yeah.
Right. So can agentic AI help banks move from a reactive service model that we always have seen banks to be reactive service model to a proactive advisory model? Do you think? What do you
Yes,
say?
definitely. Nowadays, the time has come itself from the reactive to proactive. It's basically nowadays. I'm just quoting some use cases, different use cases itself. Suppose you got your credit in itself is suddenly for your bonus amount, let's say 50,000 USD. So in that case, through agentic AI capabilities, the bank will detect that one, that this much credit you have done, and accordingly, bank also not only detect, that will also notify you that based on your financial choices, this much amount you can invest in this particular mutual fund in Indian context or the other T-bills or other things itself, financial instrument in the bond in the US market itself. So that can also, that kind of solution, that kind of suggestions also coming up through the agentic AI itself.
Hmm.
So this will also help you to take the decision, better decision also. So
Hmm.
based on that also you can take down, like if you are confirm it, so bank will invest that particular money on behalf of you. So entire journey. So not only this money will be credited, so money credited, bank notifications, and the bank better decisions. Also, the entire journey will come up through the agentic AI capabilities, which also help you to take better decisions and also faster and time-driven decisions also.
Yeah, it happened to me couple of times, and the bank also succeeded had to have me investing money as well. So some amount was credited in my bank, and then
Hmm.
relationship manager called that this is the amount you have in your bank, so why not you invest this and that? So I'm sure that these insights have come from agentic AI itself. That these are the models that you can invest in, and
Yeah. So that's why the HIT-L, like we used to call it industry HIT-L, like human in the loop. So
hmm,
this human in the loop is very important. You told me that the RM is involved. If
yes,
RM is not involved in this
huh,
particular, the agent will come up, then you will not have the right positions because you will
yeah,
not get the sense of the confidence also. Like
correct,
you know that particular RM from the last 6 months or the 6 years.
yeah.
Whereas, how can you trust a particular agent of your
Hmm.
financial investment of so much of money for your future endeavors itself, for based on the agent itself? So that's why HIT-L will come to the picture itself, human in the
Yeah,
loop.
this is a very nice example of human in the loop and why that is important. Very nice
Yeah.
example. Uh, what might the customer experience look like in the next 5 years? We always talk about us, IT professionals, what will us, our career look like in 5 years, but what will customer experience, the end user experience of the banks look like in the next 5 years, if you think from their perspective?
Yeah, so the next 5 years, the end users experience will be nowadays bank for the banking operation. It's a reactive model. Like if a simple example in Indian context, if you have a HDFC or SBI or any big bank's account itself, you have to open a particular app, or you have to go to the mobile with that particular link itself. You have to log in through, and you have to do your own operation, like you transfer the money, you payments or
Hmm.
something, or
Hmm.
something like that. But this is a as is model. But in 2B model, what we
Hmm.
can do in the future itself, or rather than what we can think about, like this kind of implementation, there is no need to do the personal login for this particular apps or insight itself. So whereas bank will automatically deploy the agent itself. So every day the bank will come up some of the new agents capability, will do the background operation on behalf of you, and it will do that kind of task from yours on behalf of you. So instead of the reactive, it will be proactive, and in terms of the customer experiences, it will come up with the only decision making. So the decision making based on the choices, based on the things what they have done. Just giving a one example from the different context and coming back to the banking context. Suppose you were searching for a particular air conditioners in
Hmm.
Google, and when you go back to your social media, you will find this kind of advertisement will come up with from continuously,
Hmm.
because based on the next best action. So what you have done in the search on the social media. So now, if coming to the banking context itself, suppose you are looking for a home loan with your particular Google browsing and all, or the home you are searching for some home in platform, then in the bank, or in the bank through the agentic capabilities, you also get to know that the what kind of budget you are looking for, what is the personal offering bank can do for you, in which particular rate.
Hmm.
So bank will come up with this kind of notifications also, like look, you are looking for a home for this to this budget, and
Hmm.
we are offering for you this percentage itself for you. So
Hmm.
this kind of information so will be gathered from the agentic AI, like you was from your search history, like you are looking for home, and what
Hmm.
bank offering you, like how much loan capability based on your loan capability, and what is the rate of interest also. These kind of
Correct.
examples can be done itself in within next 5 years, you can say.
So personalized banking. So that is one thing that will happen. And you're saying that we don't have to log in. Per bank will always keep everything ready for us. We just have to go in and approve the different investments and different, let's say, financial transactions that will be there. That is what the future will be as a user.
Yeah, so definitely you can have the different opinion also. Like if you don't like that particular investment, let's take the investment decision itself. Suppose you are looking for A investment fund, but bank is offering for you the B investment fund. Then you can also suggest it, but the bank will come up with the propositions
Ah,
nowadays. Instead of the propositions, bank is right now in today's model. What used to happen that the RM used to call you and
I have to
do
do some research. I
yeah,
have to
you have to
explore
do the research and you have
options.
to tell it.
Huh.
Whereas this kind of information, these research and R&D things will be done by the bank itself through the agentic AI, and you will provide you
I
the
just have to
option.
approve
Yeah, you have to
that.
approve. You have to, as an end user, you have to tell you that what to do and what not to do.
Okay,
There is
that's
no need
great.
to do that kind of research, and don't need to waste your time itself, because your time is
Yeah.
spent for bank perspective.
And that will be very competitive also because every bank will start doing that. So whoever does the best decision making will be the winner in this case. So
So that's why nowadays people used to ask you that what particular bank you are using,
yeah.
rather than after 5 years, people will to ask that what is the particular agent you are using instead of the banks. Like let's say one example. Nowadays we are talking about in SBI in Indian
Hmm.
context.
Hmm.
Okay, so in so let's consider for a time being this a agent. So you will not name as a you will not recognize as a or SBI. You will call as a agent A for this particular bank, agent B for that particular bank. So you'll be known for the which particular agents will be performing for the better. You will go for that one.
My goodness. That's awesome. Okay, next question. As AI agents gain ability to make recommendations and execute actions, as you just said now, what are the biggest risks? Hallucinations, bias, security, compliance, explainability, or operational errors, and how should banks govern them? So these are all rosy pictures that you portrayed now. So let's have the other side of it as well. So what are the risks?
Yeah, definitely. On the flip side of this kind of benefits, also there is some benefit will come of some risks also.
Hmm.
So the major risk from a banking industrial professions perspective, that is the compliance risk, because whenever the bank provide you the loan in a retail customer or is a commercial customer, when bank approve a huge amount of loan for a particular business houses, then definitely it will come up a risk. The risk is terms of the compliance. The particular individual or the particular business group is meeting these compliances or not. So if we completely rely on the agentic AI capabilities, then it will be they might be good in a research, they might be good in a
Hmm.
do in the transaction analysis and all, but in terms of decision making,
Hmm.
if you didn't put in the human in the loop, again, HITL, then it will be a catastrophic. Then you will not get to know the real customers' capabilities also in terms of the whatever the loan they are borrowing, they will provide, they give you back that kind of loan or not, or for the individual or for the business houses also. So compliance is number one for from my perspective. And definitely the hallucinations, we talked about hallucinations not in banking sector, in across the sector, like
Hmm.
uh, uh, telecommunications, we talked about in the travel and hospitality and insurance, in across the sectors itself. So hallucination definitely is a problem, because the we need to come up this kind of things itself, that how much bank is capable through the genetic AI or agentic AI, like how much they can come up with this kind of capability, where the data cannot be hallucinate. So like if you come up a example like data hallucinations, then it will be catastrophic for the bank itself. So data hallucination is also is the second part itself. And third part itself, that the operational error or operational hindrance itself, what I want to call it out, like operational hindrance, like nowadays if we do the whatever the chat itself through the banking professionals or the personals in terms of the RM, if we being entirely through the agentic AI capabilities, then they will lose the context and the contact of that particular customers also. The customers also
The
lose
personal
the
touch will not
personal
be there.
touch will be missing. And
Yeah.
that's why in the customer experience, how it will be helpful for the customer experience also, it will be not helpful that much customer experience if we completely rely on the agentic AI. That's why we have to bring the human also into the picture itself.
So, for all of these, like hallucination of data, for compliance issues, operational issues, the only solution is to have human in the loop. I mean, there is no other way out for last decision making, final approval.
Yeah, definitely. See, the thing is that AI or agentic AI, or whatever you call it out, it's just a tool or enabler for you. Just
Accelerator.
like a internet nowadays. You
Hmm,
think
hmm,
you
hmm, hmm.
suppose you think in the era of 2000, when internet is come up, this boom is happening. Before
Google.
that and after that, so
Hmm,
internet make your life easier.
hmm,
Nowadays, you have some apps. You are ordering some food or movie tickets or whatever it is
hmm.
through the internet. That's the platform. Just like AI will give you the platform, but end of the day, human you need. Until and unless means this particular platform, without human you cannot run this one. So without human you cannot compare that bank itself. So
So, it will
definitely,
never be absolute,
yeah, in the
the
ecosystem you
decisions that
have
it
to
makes.
incorporate humans also. You have to bring human, maybe in different roles, but human is there.
Yeah. So we'll come to the roles very shortly. So when you say roles, so we definitely have seen in the newspapers, in the market, everybody is having this that our jobs are at stake. So in that context, what do you think? Will agentic AI primarily replace tasks, only tasks, or augment employees, or redefine entire banking roles?
So first of all, I want to correct you, sir, that our job is not in stake. Our role is in stake. Our job profile is in stake. So
Right.
what I want to mean, like people will be there.
Yeah.
So people, what they are doing nowadays, they will do the another thing is now next step. They have to evolve. If you evolve with the situation, definitely you will survive. So our job profile might change. So nowadays, if I take one simple example, a person who is coding for previously last 10 or 15 years, he or she need not to be code. He or she need to learn himself that or herself like how to architect the thing. So that's how it will be change or transformations. So definitely, so the people will come, the people will need to know the learn the new things itself in how to use the AI itself in capabilities, and also different kind of roles will be come up. Like in across the levels, if you see in an organization, if top layer or the middle layer or the lower layer, in every aspect AI will come impact and it will change or the transform. Like in the lower layer, if you see in the lower layer, if I take one example like ops manager or credit manager or underwriter in the bank's perspective, or RM also, they need to know that what how to use the AI in terms of the for customer insights for the personalizations, and they have to provide. And for the middle layer itself, suppose the credit decision maker is, if I consider as a middle layer, then previously they have to do the some analysis. Nowadays they have to do the check the dashboard or something like that, which is used through the AI, and they have to take the decisions itself. And the top layer, definitely bank people, the CXO people need to take the better strategy and how to utilize AI and the extract the more capability and also push for the benefits and reap down the values also from that.
Yeah.
So that's why.
So yeah, so what I have seen also, like the lower level, the lower hierarchy, they don't have any other option but to be a good prompt engineer. That is a must skill set that they should have. And we people who are like at the top layer, top hierarchy, we should have the insights like what all use cases can be done by agentic AI. So we might not be a good prompt engineers, but we should have that insights, that creativity. Otherwise, our roles, as you say, the rules are at stake. We need not be a hands-on technician for that, but we need to have those insights for that, like
Yeah,
what can be
that's
done
how we
and what
evolve.
cannot be done. So
Yeah,
that
what can be done cannot be done.
yes,
Correct point.
we have to
Yeah.
bring that experience to the table. So we usually speak about IT professionals and everything, like how our jobs is going to evolve. But here is a different question, Shumon. What new skills should banking professionals develop to remain relevant in AI first future?
Yeah. So they also, as with the time, as I told you, like they have to come up with the different skill sets. Like if I again bring you the some example, like
Hmm.
nowadays, if you go in any particular, if you walk down any retail bank outlet in India, so you'll find some people will be there sitting with their some monotonous clerical job used to be done. So those people will be redundant. Definitely, those people means those people job role will be redundant. Bank need to utilize those people in a different matter itself. Like they have to learn the how the AI/ML used to happen, used to work itself, how the dashboard can be ridden through, how to give the better propositions toward customer. So that's how they need to redefine. And also, like the if you now coming to the next level after the branch level, if you come to the zonal level in Indian context or in
Hmm.
a European context, if you are coming on the state level, then definitely those people need to analysis the or help the along with the AI. Definitely they come up with a better dashboard and the better capabilities also of the AI. So for that also, rather I suggest them to learn that not only AI ML, along with the AI ML also they need to understand how the data visualizations. So we have come up with a lot of data, we come up with a lot of dashboard, but because AI will give you this opportunity that what you used to do in a 7 days, you will do it the 7 minutes. So that much of faster speed, you can understand that how fast or how big data can be processed itself. So it will give you the insights also. So that's why the data visualizations part for the journal level or this kind of middle level itself need to be very important for them itself. So
So a lot of analytical skills they need to have.
yeah,
A lot of analytical skills, how to analyze the data, the dashboards, the reports, and even how to understand that this data is not correct or this dashboard is not reflecting correctly. So how to revert back to the original data and come back with the corrected report. So those kind of analytical capability today's banking professionals need to have. It's no more a manual job. It's no more like you just do it and go home. It's no more like
Yeah,
that.
definitely. So that's why the hallucinations also come into the picture, and that's why we need to keep safe from the hallucinations perspective also. So definitely, I believe that industry will come up the better solution in terms of the tackle down the hallucinations part itself. But definitely, this is the future: the data visualization, data analytical analysis, and the providing the correct solutions also.
Yeah, so day by day the LLMs are getting stronger as well. That also we are seeing every other day a new version comes up to combat with this issue.
Yeah, it's making you the faster itself.
Yeah,
Like a simple example, I used to read in journal yesterday. So Anthropic used to do what the speed of Anthropic used to do in the 7 months. Now our things used to do in the 4 months. So what is the context itself? So like LLMs every day, day in day out, LLMs are getting stronger and more stronger in. So that's why it's speed. Speed is also humongous.
right, right. And the competition is like anything.
Yeah.
So, do you believe that agentic AI makes the concept of a truly branchless bank realistic with the change of roles, with the new skill sets that is required, or will human interaction and physical branches continue to play an important role for certain customer segments and services? So, where are we heading?
There is a context also that about the branchless banking. Yeah. So branchless bankings also exist in nowadays in India and abroad.
Yes.
Yeah, if in European bank also definitely or US bank definitely is there, and also this in Indian context we also have similar kind of experiences. Now, the thing is that about the through agentic AI, is there any possibility to do the bank is a branchless bank? I don't think so because people will be changed in terms of their different roles, but completely branchless or the completely humanless definitely not possible. But there is a possibility also of the optimizations of the number of people, optimizations of the number of roles itself. That will redefine. It's not like that before 50 years how you used to do the banking, or before 20 years how you used to do the banking. So it will be changed, it will be revamped, but people will be there and branch will be there. Because nowadays, if in Indian context, in every segment, if you see that the customer level, that they are not that much accustomed to have that kind of facility of banking without branch. There's a 15% customers who are always prefer to go walk down to the bank and do their operations, who are not millennials, who are not the boomers, who were the previous generations I'm talking about.
Right, right.
So definitely, so that's why the branch need to be there, but number will be reduced, people will be reduced, or with the
Hmm.
optimized rather than I can call it out. So it will be happen in that way.
Yeah, so many branches will not be required, so many staffs will not be required. So that optimization will happen, but probably branches will be there, physical branches. It will not become entirely branchless. So
Yeah.
that is what we are telling. Because of certain factors like our parents and parent in-laws, they are not comfortable on online banking. They probably have to go to the banks. So we have
Mhm.
to consider there, and some other activities also will be required. So coming to our last question, Shuman, imagine we're sitting here in 2030. So what is the one agentic AI capability which is disruptive that you believe that will have the fundamentally changed how banks operate and how customers interact with financial institutions, which will be game changer? What is the one capability?
See, now I have to give you some context. Like before 15 years,
Hmm.
did you think about the UPI, Unified Payment Interface? We didn't. It was a
It was
game
a game
changer.
changer, yeah.
It was a game changer in Indian context, and nowadays in foreign countries like France and Singapore, they are accepting this UPIs itself.
Exactly.
So nowadays, what we are using this AI capabilities itself, we just talking about the capability. Now, after down the line 4 years or 5 years, the speed of momentum, how the agentic AI is done through the LLMs, what I believe that uh, it will be just the agents which will drive the banks. So nowadays, you used to, as I told you just before a couple of minutes, nowadays we used to talk through like what is the different banks you are using, what's different banks accounts you have. It will be like what is the different agents you will have. Nowadays, we are talking through like what is the, we used to talk within the friend itself. What is the AI tool you are using for our day-to-day life? So it will be like in that way, like what is the jeans you are wearing or what is the bank you are using, like what is the different AI you are using in your day-to-day life. So that's how impactful, and that impact will be sustainable impact that's good for the human being also, in terms of capability, technological capabilities. Definitely there is a questions in terms of the cost optimizations or the cost benefit analysis, along with the how sustainability in global sustainability or environmental sustainability is concerned in terms of the huge data processing centers used to be needed, where is the environment stuffs are there involved in terms of the water or the jungles or whatever it is. So that's a different questions. That's a different stakeholders also together. Along with the most important one, will this particular AI will evolve and that will kill the human abilities or the human civilizations or not? That is also another important things. But in terms of the banking perspective, definitely it will be a massive room changer, because it's a, in other days a service industry. So whatever the service in the service industry, whatever the particular identity or entity, rather than entity will provide you the better service, you will go for that. So if bank need have to come up, different retail banks have to come up with different agents in terms of capabilities, and they will serve you more in a better way.
Yeah, so that was really a nice answer and nice insight, Shuman, because it might happen, as you mentioned, that it might happen that thousands of years from now we will end up in Stone Age. After all these technological advances, our natural resources will be at stake and we will end up in Stone Age. That really might happen.
Yeah,
So
just can't resist from I mean, adding one point here, Mitu and Shumon, that already I've heard a couple of days back, the Tata Group chairman already announced, right, for TCS, like for every employee there will be at least one agent, right? So they are heading towards that. So we can understand the number of people TCS is having right now, or maybe they can take it to the entire Tata Group. So they are already announcing that for every TCS employee there will be, right, one agent. So like you exactly said, the volume of AI agent, again, that's a different question. Whether we'll be able to remember all those agents, we'll be able to manage those agents, that's a different ballgame altogether. But already we are heading towards that region. Yeah, over to you, Mitu.
yeah. We will have the fireside, the rapid fire round right now. So, Shumon, ready with 10 rapid fire questions.
Yeah, and before that, there is some chats also. There some respective users are there.
We'll take up the questions up after this rapid fire round.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
ready?
Yeah, yeah.
One word that best describes the future of agentic AI in banking.
Disruptive.
If you would deploy one AI agent in every bank tomorrow, what would it would do?
Better customer experience.
What's more valuable in BFSI, human intuition or AI-driven decisions?
Both. Human-driven decision with
One
agent.
banking process, one banking process that you believe will become fully autonomous by 2030.
No banking process can be autonomous without human.
Okay. Branchless banking or hybrid banking, which means the future.
Definitely hybrid banking.
Biggest risk of agentic AI, hallucination, bias, security, or over dependence.
Over dependence in to take the better customer decisions.
One skill every banking professional should learn in the age of AI agents.
How to use AI in day-to-day life.
If agentic AI had a job title in a bank, what would it be?
Agentic manager.
Will customers trust an AI agent with their financial decisions by 2030? Yes or no? Why in one sentence?
Yes, because customer is important in the bank ecosystem, definitely. So
Complete this sentence. The bank of 2030 will be?
For better users or better customers decisions, it will be like, how to say, for better capability driven organization.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Shuman. I think that was a very, very good conversations. Now we will take up the questions from the audience.
Yeah, sure.
𝗕𝗂𝗏𝗬, if you can just tell us the questions. Where is that? In the chat, no?
Yes, I think Rajesh had the first question. Rajesh, would you mind just calling that out?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Hi, Suman, Mitu. Thanks for facilitating. I think any plans to come up with the predictive models to know the insolvency of big flagship customers, right? We have been facing insolvency from big retail customers suddenly, right? The upsurge comes very sudden, and mostly it shocks the entire nation. So, any thoughts around this, or any work in progress in terms of at least concept level to get our prediction around this? I know this involves access to data of across. Well, yeah, having the challenge, how do you plan to become more predictive, better predictive here, so that we know better in advance? Or we will give them a warning as well.
Yeah, thanks Rajesh to put up this particular point itself, which I would like to cover. That is a compliance perspective. Like this kind of things itself, I understand completely that what bank you are talking about. But the thing is that when you have a lot of data, when you have a lot of information also in your hand, it's responsibility of bank also definitely with the capabilities to come up with the better solutions to prevent that kind of thing. So definitely it's required to stringent the business rule and stringent the guardrails itself from the banking perspective, better decision making itself, so it can be prevent from the going forward. That is my 2 cents from this particular scenario.
Okay. Thanks, man. Probably we need to come up with more collaborative models as well, which can interact with other system in compliant with the policies. Maybe, I don't know. Technically, I could think that way. As you rightly say, the challenge is around accessing the data, right? Otherwise, my question is more on in process. Once we approve and they are in flight customer, and then suddenly they hit insolvency, and then probably that's where. How do we make the prediction better, during the process itself, not after onboarding rather, right? After 10 years, I'm very good, and then 12th year, I become very bad. So, yeah. It's integrated view. I mean, it's a systemic view, actually, not just one bank. Maybe it's a rule. Yeah. While, as you were saying, I was just doing Copilot questions, and then it gave me a list of defaulters, which is huge. Like Videocon, and so many defaulters are there.
Yeah.
At least 7 are listed right now, Suman.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why the credit risk is a huge department nowadays itself, and a huge important department in terms of when you are talking about issuing your credit itself, and what is the market risk and what is the credit risk analysis used to be done. Because based on the last 10 years performance, you cannot judge from the next 11 or 12 year, but you have to rely on the customer also. You have to trust on that one, because the entire banking industry in the globe, it's a run on the one word, that is trust. So until and unless if you don't trust backed by your data or the performance of that particular business group, then you cannot lend more, and that the business will not grow. So that's why the human in the loop, the retail, will need to.
This is important. Yeah. Well said. Thanks, Suman.
Thanks, Rajesh.
Back to you, Mitu.
Yeah.
Anyone has any other question? I think 𝗕𝗂𝗏, you answered a couple of thought process, but do you really have any question for Shumon? Yeah, I immediately get the question. Yes. Can we just call that out, 𝗕𝗂𝗏, if you don't mind?
Yes. So the first question, I think I answered it. So see, I mean, nowadays in India specifically, means anything and everything you want to do, you have to visit the home branch and you have to do certain things, right? Certain things means most of 90% of the things you have to do it from the home branch. Okay. So ideally, if we, I mean, banks are going to deploy these agents, AI agents. So this concept of home branch should disappear first, right? If I suppose if I have an account in Hyderabad or Bangalore or Mumbai, okay, I should be able to do anything and everything sitting in Kolkata or any other place, right? So that concept should, I mean, disappear in the next, I would say, 6 months or 1 year. Bank should acknowledge it and, I mean, do the necessary needful to implement it. Okay, because I have seen, I mean, including myself, plenty of customers are getting impacted or getting harassed day to day due to this thing. So this is one. That is my opinion solely. Second question is the role of design thinking, right? The role of design thinking in this AI era, like the way we are operating or we are moving towards the future and we are embracing it. So what will be the role of design thinking in this? That is the first question.
Yeah. So in terms of the design thinking, if I talking about the banking perspective, the bank is coming up with different transactions, different data itself for what? So with come up for the better propositions for the bank for as a product towards the customer itself. So that's product team nowadays, the product thinking team. Those things, if we consider this is a design thinking concept from the banking perspective, those particular people need to come up with a better product visibility, product capabilities also, which can use the definitely which can helpful for the end user. So nowadays, what you used to do, just I'm using 2 minutes. I'll provide you the as is and to be itself. Now nowadays, bank used to take some customer service itself form. It's through the customer service they used to take the data from the form instead, and what they used to do some kind of market survey. And based on that's the next step is the based on the market survey, bank used to design the banking products itself, or backed by definitely couple of data itself, and the next step is they push towards the customer existing and the new to the bank ETB and NTB customers itself. So this is the if you say that this is the process as is process, and now the to be process will be bank. There is no need to take this kind of data collections from the survey from the customer or potential customers itself. Bank have a huge set of data in day-to-day life transactions itself. They can use that data itself. They can segmentation the customer itself. They can think itself like what is the particular data will be useful for the which particular customer. So that's how they can think in that area of hyper personalizations and provide that towards the customer. So that evolvement of the design thinking itself will be the from nowadays the personalization to the shift of the hyper personalizations.
Okay. I have a question
Okay.
for you, Shumon, if no one has. We know that, yeah, I'll come to you, Madhumita, if you allow me. So we know that you already talked about like the mutual fund, stock market, etc., how bank can provide a kind of good research, right, and information to the people. We know that many banks are also having their demat accounts, right? So I'm just shifting a little bit, but still it is in the purview of the banking also. But apart from that, there are a lot of other financial organizations who are not probably bank, but a good website, and they are doing extensive research on that, right? Value, I forgot those names, moneycontrol.com, and many other things are there. So how different will be banks offering, right, compared to those things like fundsindia.com, right, moneycontrol.com, and many other financial like channel who are providing this kind of stock market assistance, etc. So how different or how trustworthy bank's information would be as compared to those?
I think 𝗕𝗂𝗏, you have the answer within your question itself. Because if you see, there's a two difference. One is the bank, another is the non-banking organizations for the different customer needs satisfactions itself. So for the bank itself, the one and important things is itself is the bank data. So data is your transactions. So how much SIP or the lump sum amount for the mutual fund used to do, how much transactions used to do for the Uber fare, or how much transaction used to do for your grocery shopping through Big Basket or some app itself, that information lies in the bank itself, in your account itself. So every individual in terms of retail banking, every individual accounts and the transaction used to be there in the bank. That's the greatest weapon what bank have, which don't have the other organizations. So that's how they can process those data. They can take that data, analysis the data through the processing, and they can give you the better insight itself compared to the money control or the other.
Correct. So as I understand your answer, that they know what is the salary getting deposited, what are my earnings, right? At the same time, like what are my expenditures. So based on that, they can do that analysis and give me a more realistic, right, prediction as compared to, because they might not be having those data, right? They can have only my SIP data, etc., but they may not be knowing what is my monthly income, right? What are my expenditure, expenses, etc. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, good. Madhumita, you have a question. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. When we are talking in terms of this agents, so for banks, we deal with sensitive data also, right, for the customer. So in terms of this PII related data, so how secure is this agents when we hand over our PII data to these agents?
Yeah. So in terms of the security, definitely nowadays in the AI era, the two more biggest important part will be that the risk and the compliance. So to handle this kind of PII secure data itself, we need to bring the checks or intervention through the human being. So we need to understand in terms of the how much data we will explore and we will give the access towards the agent and how much not. So that's why we have to bring the 𝗕𝗙 again. So 𝗕𝗙 like the human in the loop. So human in the loop, the entire flow itself of the data accessibility, we need to have the control of the access of that particular human or the decision maker or the whoever is the responsibility of the roles itself to secure or at least have the compliance and the risk perspective to mitigate the risk itself, to expose the data or and expose the data and also not to cascade the data itself in the wrong in usage itself.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So we don't have any other questions. I think we can wrap
I do
up
have a
this.
question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so
Shubha.
it is a kind of a different one. So first of all, thank you, Shuman, for all the insightful discussion that you had. It was great to know about all these. But my question is a little bit different on the adoption rate. So there are two sides to it. Adoption rate in the government sector banks and among the users. Because in India, we have a huge customer, especially for the government sector banks. And many of the customers are still not that techy, I would say, and they prefer to go to the government sector banks. So how do you see the adoption rate in government sector banks and the users for AI agents?
Thanks, Subra, for attending the sessions itself and the insights also and the questions also. So you have the two different part of the question. So the adoption rate of the banks, especially PSU bank in Indian context, and the customer in terms of the users itself. So let's talk through the PSU banks itself. Nowadays, if you see, before going to that also, nowadays, if you see that any PSU banks, if you go to the any particular bank itself, they always ask you that one thing itself, like, do you have that particular app of that respective app of the bank itself in your mobile? Because they always push for the users towards the usage of that particular app. Now, but before going to that, this kind of adoptions of the banking of professionals or the banks or the PSU banks itself. Nowadays, if you see that banks in terms of the outlets, in terms of the human powers, also calculations of the optimizations, that's doing in a different way. So they are pushing their customers also in terms of the using their apps itself, also more digital friendly now in a more digital era itself. They are in, that's why they are pushed, they are cut down intentionally. They are cut down their banking staff, or they are optimizedly used rather than in a better way, so that user can also push towards the usage of the particular apps or the digital channels. And now if we talk through the users also, so if you see that after coming to the UPI, Unified Payment Interface, that not only the PSU or the private banks, the users also used to do the bankings also from their home. Yeah, I acknowledge that part which Shubhai also mentioned, that home branch concept is to be there. Most of the cases as a PSU bank holder, account holder, you have to go. But in terms of the adoption rate, where we are sitting in 2026, let's think about 2010, what we used to do nothing without uh, going and visit the bank branch. Nowadays, we used to do at least 50 to 60% task itself within the user base. I am hopeful within this AI capabilities also that your footfall of the branch level will reduce also at another 30-40% level itself within next 5 years.
So, do you think that, I mean, because of this slow adoption rate for the PSUs, the private sector will take a higher notch in the immediate future with banking?
Yeah, see, definitely they have a fast mover advantage. They have always have the FMA in terms of the implementations. It's the faster adoption and implementations in terms of the, here for this case, the adoptions and the user benefits to transfer the user benefit. So in that scale, definitely the private banks have a edge, but it's not like that. PSU banks also are in the game, like SBI, you can call it out SBI also in the game itself. I know in terms of the not only the rollout, they are, if you see in the SBI capabilities, they are heavily investing nowadays in terms of the customer segment, in the customer service areas itself. They are using, you will, if you see this one, the SBI using a lot of money for the customer service area. They are coming up on this entirely transforming this customer service things itself from human to AI dependent. So they are also in the game, but definitely PSU, instead of the PSU, private players have the edge.
Okay. And do you see the customers, I mean, especially I'm talking about not so techie customers, getting the trust to move from government sector to private sector in the near future?
It's a big question, because the entire banking industry depends on the trust, as I told you earlier.
Yes.
So this trust movement from our country, of a huge country like 140 CR people, that will not happen in a span of the 5 or 10 years. It will take some generation, definitely. But definitely, if you see the trust from the people, like if I take in a BFSI example, in 1960s, there's a player of in insurance. If I say only LIC or the national player used to be there, but whereas if you see in 2026, if you see the private players also is there, because private players also earning some money, they are doing some business, good business. That's why they are into the game itself. Otherwise, they will not put their money itself. So definitely, they will be the trust transferred from the PSU to private. It will be not so fast in a country like us, but within a span of 15 to 20 years, I believe the percentage will be higher.
Got it. Thank you, Shuman.
Thanks.
So I just want to add something on the last point. See, I mean, regarding SBI. See, means what Shuman is saying, it is correct. Like, see, nowadays, I mean, few weeks, few weeks prior, there was a strike in SBI. Okay, because nowadays still they are having like 6 days a week. I mean, every second Saturday, right? Second and fourth Saturday, the staff has to visit the office and serve the customers, right? But they are asking for 5 days work week, right? Because everything they are doing is getting digitized. Just for example, say SBI has YONO, right? And they are also leveraging the other platforms like say WhatsApp. For example, earlier for submitting a life certificate, senior citizen has to personally visit the branch, meet the branch manager, and with the necessary documents, and then the life certificate gets approved. Nowadays, what they are doing, they are introducing WhatsApp banking, right? With WhatsApp banking, you can just submit your life certificate within 2 to 3 minutes. It is that easy. You don't have to visit anywhere. Now they are doing IVR also, video call. By that also you can do the submission of life certificate. That is an example. But many of the things like opening a fixed deposit or RD or mutual funds or whatever you can do, whatever you think of doing, you can do it digitally. So, I mean, obviously they will invest more on this, and I think, I mean, not only SBI, like all the private sector banks also are doing the same, right? So that way, I think it's better for this, for like the new generation. I mean, the existing generations, but it will be difficult for the older generation a bit. Uh, but the way it is moving, that we are going to that direction only. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
Well, for
think
the
we
insight
should
and
have
message.
more such sessions. People were so engaging and they had a lot of questions. That was really inspiring to see. And we should wrap up now. I think we are over time by 13 minutes. Thanks everyone for such an engaging discussion. Thank you, Shuman, so much for giving us
Thank
such insights from BFSI domain. It was really very good. And thank you, Shubhoda, for arranging this. And thanks everyone for joining today.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
let's wrap up.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you all. Bye.
much. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Mitu. Thanks, 𝗕𝗂𝗏, for organizing and having me in the session itself. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mitu.
everyone.